We are losing our home.
We're losing our home.
We are losing our home.
We are losing our home.
The Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee heard warnings today that a coal-burning society may be making things hot for itself.
Scientists have issued their starkest warning yet about the danger of climate change. In a dramatic report, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel says the world is nowhere near its target of keeping the rise in average global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Instead, it says we're heading for an increase of 3 degrees from pre-industrial levels. Well, the report says that just to stay on track would require rapid, far-reaching and unprecedented changes to all aspects of society.
President Trump believes climate change is a hoax. We know this because he has said it over and over again.
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax.
The president has tweeted climate change skepticism at least 115 times, including a claim that the concept of global warming was created by and for the Chinese.
Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota, USA.
I'm from Jordan.
I'm from a tiny country called the Maldives.
I'm from Spain. And well, in Spain I'm from Almeria. It's in the south of the country.
What is happening to your home because of climate change?
First of all, Jordan is the second water poorest country in the world. We import almost all of our water from richer or countries that have more water around us, and that is a very big problem. It's already causing a lot of strain on the economy. Secondly, is the more present problem right now is the amount of refugees that we're getting from countries that are having climate problems. For example, more recently we've been getting some refugees from Yemen, which is actually the first most poor country by water in the world. From there, and then from Syria, which some people might call a climate war because it followed one of the biggest droughts in the history of Syria. To some estimates, it's the driest season in 800 years. All these people coming into my country is raising the demand on water, which we already have so little of.
Summers are 6 weeks longer now than they were 30 years ago. Before there used to be some water in the rivers. Right now everything is completely dry. And also we start seeing how birds that in the past would migrate to Africa in winter, now they're staying in a city the whole year. And also plants, they think that maybe summer is coming early because it's very warm during the whole year, so they start flourishing before they should be doing it, and then temperatures can change super quickly and the whole plant dies. Another issue that we're having is that we started exploiting agriculture in terms of building a lot of greenhouses and using kilometers and kilometers just for that. So we are running out of water, mainly first because there is no rain, and second because all of the underground aquifers that we used to have, they are dry now. So we've started buying water from other parts of the country. We've started trying to take water from the sea, take the salt out, but the whole process is super expensive. So yeah, I don't know, it's not looking very good.
What's happening right now is that the coral reefs that bring life to our islands, that bring life to the fishes and the intricate animals that live under the water, they're all losing their homes right now. The coral reefs are being bleached, and this is a weird little process where it turns white. It lets go of the little plant material or whatever that's inside, and it's like a last resort, and after that it just dies off.
In Minnesota, we're used to really, really extreme temperatures. We have really, really cold winters and very hot summers, and we're known to be quite strong because of our cold winters. But this past winter, there was like a great polar vortex that hit the Midwest region, and it made the temperatures go below negative 33 degrees Celsius. And we are used to cold winters, but that is too extreme. And every year since when I was little, like we used to get maybe one snow day, but now we don't even have snow days, we have cold days because it's too cold. Like if you go outside for more than 10 minutes, you will automatically get frostbite. So students are losing so much education because of this. Like the past winter, we had to cancel around 7 days of school. And I just find this so ironic because the students who are striking for the climate, actually trying to get attention for this, when they skip school, they get so much shit for it. But at least they're skipping school and they're doing something for it. But these kids, they can't even go to school. So it's just, it's sad.
Consequently, how is that affecting people in your country?
The price of water will keep going up.
So more than in my country, I say that in my city, because in the north of the country they do have a lot of like water and it rains a lot and stuff like that. In my city, I've seen a lot of people choosing to stop working in the agriculture sector and move into the cities. People that used to have a work when they were young, now they're unemployed. You also see that in the greenhouses, the only people that are working there are immigrants, basically because they are willing to work for nothing, so they're half slaves. So it's kind of sad to see young population not having jobs and then the ones working, well, in terrible conditions.
In my state, it's just these days are like completely wasted. Like people can't go to work, can't go to school, so it's completely unproductive.
Well, right now I think life goes on as usual. People might be able to find less fish. It might not be so beautiful when you go snorkeling. But right now life goes on as usual, and that's the dangerous part of it, you know, is because a lot of what's happening right now is just, it's invisible. We aren't seeing it so far, you know. It's not like a hurricane or a tornado that you can see and feel, but it's more subtle, so life goes on as usual.
Is climate change forcing people from the country to leave their home?
In my state, I don't think people are forced to leave their home yet because of climate change. It might happen, but I think what's more likely to happen is the coasts right now are the most affected by climate change. So in California, there's these massive fires, and on the other coast, there's lots of flooding. So these people will migrate towards the middle, and that, I think, is the biggest effect that it'll have in my state.
I don't think climate change is forcing people to leave their home. There are a lot of other factors that forces people to leave their home, which, well, every Maldivian is aware of. You know, it's quite sad when a big achievement in your country is being able to leave your country. But I suspect that once the situation gets a bit worse, more and more people will have to leave. It's just, it's not possible to live in the Maldives anymore.
I mean, I don't think, if you ask people why they leave Almeria, I wouldn't say, they are not going to say because of climate change. They will say, yeah, because I cannot find any job, or because I don't know what to do. But the main reason why they cannot find any job is because it's impossible to live there unless you are working for tourism, or unless you're working, I don't know, as a teacher, as a doctor, or something like that.
So currently, not from my country. There are a lot of neighboring countries around Jordan that are suffering so much from climate change already, and likely to suffer more. So we've been getting a lot of migrants from those countries, but it is not out of the question that Jordan, which is already such a country scarce in resources, is going to suffer greatly from climate change. And obviously, the more people there are in Jordan who raise the demand for resources, the more trouble Jordan will be facing.
What would happen to your home if nothing is being done?
more and more people will start leaving Jordan, and then if in the short term the more people that are coming with all the problems that I've talked about already, it might lead to a lot of instability in Jordan and a lot of people not getting enough water or food for their daily lives.
First of all, if the sea levels rise, it will be completely fluid because it's on the coast and it's very like level of the sea. And well, second, we'll have to keep importing water from outside, and I guess at some point we'll start losing more and more species, which is already happening, but at low rates right now. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to move to another province, or we'll have to go to another part of the country if it keeps getting warmer or warmer.
If nothing is to be done by climate change, I think it'll have huge impacts. It'll have huge impacts for everyone, and I think the United States, being the second biggest polluter, has such a responsibility to take this on, not only to protect their own people, but to protect the world. My people, they won't have the life that they deserve to live. They won't have a livable life.
The Maldives will disappear. There's no, I can use fancy language or I can use rhetoric or any of that good stuff, but the fact is that the Maldives will disappear. If you look at the country on the map, it's almost invisible right now. And when you go to the Maldives and you look around, it's crazy. It's like you're almost in shock at how this island can even exist. It's utterly beautiful. I would say if there is a heaven on earth, the Maldives is clearly a good contender for that. But it will vanish. The lands that we're used to seeing, the coral reefs that we're so familiar with, and the white sand that we're so in love with, all of this will vanish. And the saddest thing about the situation for the Maldivians is that, you know, we can be carbon neutral tomorrow. I mean, we can try, you know, and nothing would still change. The Maldives is just a tiny little actor in a much larger game. If countries like the United States or China doesn't stop polluting, it doesn't matter what we do, we'll vanish. So it comes to the paradox of if this is really happening, what do we do about it? I don't know.